Okay, we live. Hold on right quick, y'all. I'm going to I'm gonna make sure that we're good. Because yesterday's live was like absolutely crazy. So hold on, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. So hold on, give me 1 second. You gonna hear echo real quick. I'm sorry. You gonna hear echo real quick. Yeah. Okay, but we're good. We're good because yesterday was a lot. Like I had recorded for over an hour and then it tuned out on me and I was like, "Oh my gosh, what's happening?" Um okay. But today we're on OBS. Before I was using StreamYard. And I feel like StreamYard is still good. It's just I don't know, it was just not working out for me. I don't know why. It was really weird. So yeah, this one is interesting. Like I'm using okay. It's interesting. I'm using YouTube's like streaming thing and I have not done it before, so it's a little weird. But anyways, hi guys. We're here. Day 2. We're in this. Okay, today has been pretty chill. Pretty chill. Sorry, hold on. I'm trying to make sure. I'm trying to make sure we're good. It's giving me all these warnings. I'm like, oh my gosh. Hold on, guys. 1 second. I'm sorry. Okay, I don't even know what that means. Okay. We're just gonna move and shake and make it work. I think eventually I'm just gonna get like an actual webcam because I kind of think that's where the issue's lying. But we gotta make do with what's here, what's available. So what was I saying before? Okay, I think I was talking about today. So yeah, guys, we are on day 2. I don't know how many people are gonna be doing the intermittent fasting portion, but in terms of that, like part of me is like, oh, it's going well. The other part of me is still a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie. Um, like today, I was so deep in work that I didn't even really think about it. Like I woke up a little tired, so I was like, okay, like we're just gonna have like a slow start to my morning, and then I didn't eat breakfast until like 10ish. And I was gonna skip it, but then I was like, ooh, we hungry. So I was doing like okay. And then right now I was actually going to eat dinner before I did this stream, but I wasn't hungry. Then I had a banana and now I'm hungry. Right as the stream popped up. So, yeah, so it's not bad cuz like I said my fasting window is until 9:30 and so I have a little bit of time and I'm not trying to make this too much of a lengthy live. But this is definitely going to be a transition for me, especially on the weekends. Like if I'm going out, I have no idea how it's going to be when I start going to like events and there's alcohol. I might have to get my pen because I feel like that's a little bit of a cheat code because it's like, okay, the pen has no calories. So I think that's how I'll be able to like turn up. But it's been interesting. So that part has been going well. It's only day 2. But the chocolate and sweets part, I'm not holding you. That has been sending me. And I think it might be because I've only bought fruit and that's it. I might end up getting like some graham crackers or something, but like I don't know. Like what I tend to notice in these 2 days is I do snack a lot throughout the day, especially when I'm sleepy. And I think it just kind of helps me like stay awake. So that's been a little bit of a challenge for me, not gonna lie. Um, but we're making it. I feel like, I feel like I'm getting more clarity of why I'm craving certain things, what I'm craving, and what it's kind of telling me. So like I said, we're moving through week 1. We are in it. We're getting there, and yeah, it's gonna be good. So I'm going to switch over to our prompt for the day. One second. I'm making sure everything is looking good. I hope I'm not like laggy or anything, because I had to re-upload yesterday for day 1. But we're gonna switch over to the prompt real quick. All right, so can you guys see that? Just make sure. Okay, I think we're good. I think we're good. Oop. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Okay. So we are on day 2, and this is our prompt. So I want everybody to get their journals out, write this down, and I'll be writing it with you. And the question is, when did you first start using this vice, and what was happening in your life at this time? When did you first start using this vice, and what was happening in your life at the time? Okay. Let's think about that, and then let's start journaling. I'm trying to figure out mine. So I really have to think, cause like I don't know. Okay, I think I know. Okay. Um okay guys. So if you finished, awesome. If not, you can definitely pause me and keep finishing that. So what I put for mine is, oh, hold on. Let me just show you guys the question again. But what I put for mine is, this vice started happening when I was younger, around middle school, or even as early as elementary school. I was always a bigger kid, but at the core, food was my comfort. And I feel like it sheltered me from my feelings and hardships that were playing out into my life. So that's my personal answer. And just to kind of like elaborate on that a little bit more, I feel like a lot of people that maybe are overweight or struggle with like food, or what's the word, like portion control, stuff like that. I feel like my response is a common response for them. um I know for me personally, it can be a little, I think it was a little hard because when I grew up, so I'm an only child, and growing up, it's like I didn't really have a lot of comfort or a lot of people that I could really like, reach out to or get like literal physical comfort from, like other than my parents. And like at that time, my parents were like going through their own like stuff, so I don't think they were really in, like, reflecting as an adult, I don't really think they were able to give me as much attention or physical affection as I wanted to. And so, without having any siblings either, because like if you guys have siblings, like, how if your parents do something, you can just kind of like run into like your brothers and sisters room and be like, mom's this or dad's that or grandma's whatever. It's like I didn't really have that. I was just kind of like left to just kind of deal with all of that on my own. And then, especially when I was younger, I had friends and everything, but because of where my parents lived, like I would be on like one side of town and then my school was on like the other side of town. And this was all the way up until like middle school. So for elementary school, it's like I didn't really get to hang out with my friends after school like maybe other people have had to, like in elementary school. I didn't really get that experience until maybe like my second year into middle school. And so I think a lot of the time I was just very isolated, and I had a lot of feelings and thoughts and, things that I had to basically like deal with on my own. And so I feel like food was kind of like that comfort, and I think it kind of like bridged the gap between like what I needed and maybe like what I was looking for, you know? So it's interesting because, as we get to be adults and as we unravel some of the patterns that we used to either survive or just the things that worked for us as a kid, um, sometimes, and this is most most often truer rather than not, but you start unraveling the thought that, hey, like this may have worked for me at 2, 5, 16, maybe even in my 20s, but this isn't working for me at this stage in my life. And so what do, right? You have to kind of like backtrack a little bit, and you have to backpedal, and you have to basically start anew. You have to find new patterns and new ways that are going to help you cope and deal with life, or whatever you're trying to solve. And, you know, you can either go in a healthy direction or you can go in an unhealthy direction. And so, you know, I think as a part of this cleanse, I think that's a part of my why as well. It's like, okay, like, as I wrote in my journal, like, food served me in whatever I was dealing with as a child and all of those trials and tribulations. But it doesn't serve me now. You know, I'm getting older. It's more important for me to focus on the health and the longevity of my body. And, you know, I don't need to be consuming as much as I did before. Also, what I've noticed too is like I still get a emotional effect from eating. So if food's like really good, I'm like, oh my god, like but I feel like I have more of like a mind body connection to it as opposed to it just being emotional. Meaning like I feel like when I was younger, like, and this wasn't all the time, but more when I was emotionally eating, it's like I would eat and then I'd be like, oh, like I'm doing this because I'm sad or I'm this or I'm that or whatever. But and it would just be that. And now it's kind of like, you know, there is this like emotional piece to eating, especially because American culture, but also like, you know, there's a lot in Europe as well. Like other countries, like we do um put a like, what's the word? We do put a little bit of symbolism on food, whether that's, you know, it being community building, tradition, et cetera, et cetera. And so there's still kind of like, you know, these emotions and ties to food. And that holds one thing. But then the other thing is there is consciousness, right? Which probably like normal people that eat feel. And I've definitely felt this before. I'm not saying like I've never felt this. But I think more oftentimes than not, it's like there's this new consciousness that I have where it's like, okay, I'm eating, consuming food, but I can feel my belly expanded. I can feel that I'm full. And sometimes it's like I'm excited to eat because it's like I'm hungry or the food will taste good or whatever. But it's like I'm not so excited that I want to like gorge myself. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like now that I'm older and also now that I've healed a little bit more and food is not a necessary like priority for me to gain comfort, it's like I have more consciousness over like my signals. Like, am I full? Do I want to keep eating? Like, et cetera, et cetera. And so, like I said, I think the intermittent fasting piece and, you know, the vice piece, because that's honestly the biggest thing that's like shining in my brain right now. You know, I think those combinations are definitely going to help me achieve more consciousness, and also it's going to help you guys achieve more consciousness as well, especially if you're doing the intermittent fasting piece. But, you know, even if we remove food, the vices itself, removing those vices itself, definitely presents a consciousness in you to be able to see, and this is what I mentioned from day one, to be able to see, you know, is this serving me? Why did I have this here in the first place? Um, do I want to continue on my path? You know, and all these other, cannot talk, and all of these other things. And so yeah, so I just feel like even though it's day 2, you know, I feel like this is gonna be good for us, and even today I've been able to have a little bit more consciousness, be able to see like what's happening. Like for example, like I wanted to eat dinner before the stream. But I stopped myself because I was like, I'm literally not hungry and there's no reason for me to do so, especially when I still have this window of time that I can do it. Like there's really no rush. And if I like miss it, like I'll be hungry, but it's like, so what? I'll be going to bed in like a couple hours anyways. And now that I'm doing this stream, I can literally feel my body being like, hey, we need dinner. And so, like I said, there's just more of like a consciousness of like what's going on in the body. I feel like it allows me to slow down and really understand myself more. And even if you guys aren't doing like food as a vice, really hoping that, you know, you're able to be in this same level of consciousness as me. Even if it's not a day 2, I'm hoping that you guys can at least get there by like the first week, by like day 7 or 8. Yeah, it's a really good feeling. And, you know, sometimes it's going to be enlightening for people, and other times it's probably going to scare the ever-loving ish out of them. And sometimes that scared feeling just means that you're unlocking a new pathway, whether it be emotional, whether it be consciousness, mental, physical, whatever. It's kind of like you're unlocking like a new piece of yourself. And what I encourage is, if you are feeling a little fearful or trying to backpedal a little bit, just get really curious and try to like ramp up that excitement so that you're able to like move forward, as opposed to kind of like stiffen and like move back, if that makes sense. All right, so honestly, that is it, guys. I really wanted to make this a short live. I didn't want these to be too lengthy. I wanted to show you guys the video, but I really do not want this to be overly lengthy. But yeah, so in the comments, let me know how your oh my god, my brain. Sorry, I'm getting really hungry. But let me know how the challenge is going for you. Let me know how the cleanse is working. Are you guys finding it easy? Are you finding it hard? You know, even though we're on day 2, I'm finding it a little bit challenging. So I'd love to know what you guys think. And yeah, if you guys have any questions or comments, leave them down below. But I'm going to end the live here just so that we, you know, don't make it too lengthy tonight. And I will see you tomorrow. Mwah. Bye, guys.